Alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharik lahu. Praise be to God, there is no other God beside Him. Inshallah, this khutbah is from submitter's perspective. The title is Live Your Life According to Quran. As we know, the teachings and whatever we need for our life, everything God detailed in Quran, and it is applicable to each and every person in this world, the whole humanity. It is applicable for the people who lived 1000 years back also. It is applicable for the future generations and the current generations as well. It is applicable for the rich, poor, male, female, as such, like the whole humanity and humans yet to come to this world for the future generation. This Quranic teachings applicable for each and everyone. Here are the few points which God advised in Quran. What are all the things we need to do? Inshallah, we will discuss in detail on this topic. First, Surah 2 verse 195. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The verse which says 195 is about charity. God advising us to be charitable. Surah 2 195. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You shall spend in the cause of God. Do not throw yourself with your own hands into destruction. You shall be charitable. God loves the charitable. In this verse, God, even though God is advising the charity, at the same time, do not throw yourself into destruction by giving up everything. Like we read like so many inspiring stories, like many people gave out everything and came to the road like that. Even though those are all inspiring, God is giving, God's advice is that giving is moderate. Like we should not give out everything, and we should not go into troubles because of that. Then Surah 2 verse 267. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. O you who believe, you shall give to charity from the good things you earn, and from what we have produced for you from the earth. Do not pick out the bad therein to give away, when you yourselves do not accept it unless your eyes are closed. You should know that God is rich, praiseworthy. Surah 2 267. Like this one is even we ourselves practice, like whatever we find like very old clothes are torn and which is not good, we take those, pick up those clothes and put it in bag and give it for charity. That is our practice. But God's advice is that do not pick bad and give for charity. Like when we ourselves will not accept it, in the we have to, even the things we have to give for charity from the things we love, the things we like, and the things we want to get more from those things, wholeheartedly we have to give for charity. Inshallah, we will practice it, inshallah. Then Surah 262 and 63. Those who spend their money in the cause of God, then do not follow their charity with insult or harm, will receive their recompense from their Lord. They have nothing to fear, nor will they grieve. Kind words and compassion are better than a charity that is followed by insult. God is rich, clement. Mashallah, in this verse also God is teaching us so many things that, like in today's world we know, like even people when they give for any help, doing any help to someone, they will publish it to 100 other places. like I helped him to do that, I helped that person to come up in life, like that, so on. God is saying that actually this is in fact kind of insult for them, like what to say, yeah, it is in fact like you are doing something and then you are expecting the credit for that, you are expecting the person to be praised, and it is like that. And God is advising us to do not follow the charity with insult or harm. And then also again we give someone help, then later on because of my help only, like those words, insult or harm, God is not encouraging, and in fact God is asking us to stop those. And then kind words and compassion are better than charity that is followed by insult. Giving good words and the good encouragement, God is advising these qualities. Then spend in the way of God, then whatever we earn, and spending in the way of God also God is encouraging. Surah 2 verse 177, it is part of that verse only. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. And they give the money cheerfully to the relatives, to the orphans, to the needy, the traveling alien, the beggars, and to free the slaves. And they observe the contact prayer salat and give the obligatory charity zakat, and they keep their word whenever they make a promise, and they steadfastly persevere in the face of persecution. Mashallah, again we give the charity, we give our the things we love cheerfully to our to relatives, orphans, needy, traveling alien, beggars, and to free the slaves. And to free the slaves, I don't know how it is applicable in today's world. In those times we know, like there are slaves, and we can pay to the owner and they can release them to be a free man, like that. And these are the people, those who do these things, these are the people observe the qualities and give their obligatory charity. Zakat, we know zakat, the 2.5% from our net income, from the income we earn every time we earn an income, 2.5% we have to strictly calculate. Giving more, it's our wish, but minimum 2.5% we have to calculate and set it aside and give it for charity. And in fact, in other words, God is saying that you have to give your charity on the day of harvest. On the day of harvest, in the sense, like say like every month, first week we are getting our salary, means when we get the salary, as soon as we get the salary, we calculate the 2.5% and give it for charity on that same day. And also one of the main quality God is advising is, and they keep their word whenever they make a promise. And this is applicable for even when in business we are telling our clients, or we are telling our customers that like we will give you this service, or we will give you this and that, and we have to keep our words. This is also one of the important thing we need to follow. And they steadfastly persevere in the face of persecution. During the hard time also, they steadfastly persevere. They follow these God's laws very strictly on every condition, on all conditions. And then another important thing is speak the truth. This is one of the, like we know, like every religion, every good books we read advising this quality, like speaking the truth. And God is particularly saying that in so many verses, and I will read out everything. Surah 2 verse 42. Do not confound the truth with falsehood, nor shall you conceal the truth knowingly. This we see in today's world, like in the social media and everything. It is not utterly false, but they are confounding the truth with falsehood, mixed with wrong messages. For example, in the recent times, like this things I read just recently, the Kashmir Files, that movie recently came. Even though the message is true that Kashmir Pandits were being persecuted, but they are mixing it with falsehood and so showing the one side of the story, how only this one particular community is being persecuted. As in general, both the parties were they suffered, and but this is called this is what I understand is showing the one side only, mixing the truth with falsehood, and this will give, their intention is that even though they are saying the true part of the story, but their intention, the way they made the whole story, the movie, is to making the division between the religion, that hatred they want to pass. That is this God is not advising such things. And then Surah 5 verse 119, God will proclaim, this is the day when the truthful will be saved by the truthfulness. They have deserved gardens with flowing streams. They abide therein forever. God is pleased with them, and they pleased with him. This is the greatest triumph. Being truthful on the day of after our death, on the day of judgment, God will proclaim, this is the day when the truthful will be saved by the truthfulness. Being truthful also a chance for us to redeem and enter the heaven. And then Surah 16 verse 116, you shall not utter lies with your own tongue, stating this is lawful and this is unlawful, to fabricate lies and attribute them to God. Surely those who fabricate lies and attribute them to God will never succeed. This is also, we know in tradition, like so many things which is not prohibited by God, people themselves prohibited. For example, men should not wear gold, or eating prawns, for example, it is makruh, like it is not haram or halal, but it is in between, like that they used to say. And even eating onion before the salat, something like that also it is there. But God is saying, but all these things they are attributing to religion, like the Prophet Muhammad's teaching only, as if it is from God. But prohibiting this is lawful and this is unlawful without the light of Quran, which is not mentioned in Quran, then it is a lie. Then and also they are attributing them to God, and these will never succeed. God is saying that. And then weight with even scales. Surah 17:35 about being trustworthy, being loyal in the business, in the being right, doing the business right. In Surah 17 verse 35, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, you shall give your full measure when you trade and weigh equitably. This is better and more righteous. Again, when we are doing the trade, this is, for example, this example we can apply in today's business. We are not weighing each and everything and giving to the customer, except in the grocery or vegetable store. Doing the business in the right way is what God is advising, and being giving the full measure to the customer is our as the person doing the business. This is our important thing we have to follow. Tubillallah, repent. Alhamdulillah, ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharik lahu. Praise be to God, there is no other God beside him. இது வரைக்கும் நான் இப்போ சொன்னது என்னன்னா, குரானில் அல்லாஹ் வந்து நம்மளை வந்து நம்ம லைஃப்பை வந்து குரான் வேல்யூஸோடு எப்படி நம்ம வாழ்கிறது அப்படின்னு அல்லாஹ் வந்து குரானில் நம்மளுக்கு நிறையா சொல்லி கொடுத்துருக்காங்க. ஃபஸ்ட்டு பி சேரிட்டபுள், தர்மவான்களாக இருங்கன்னு சொல்லி சூரா 2 வசனம் 195 அல்லாஹ் சொல்கிறாங்க. நீங்கள் வந்து தர்மம் கொடுக்கக்கூடியவங்களாக இருக்குன்னு, அதே நேரத்தில் எல்லாத்தையும் கொடுத்துட்டு அதே உங்களுக்கு கஷ்டத்தையும் விளைவிச்சிக்காதீங்க அப்படின்னு அல்லாஹ் சொல்கிறாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் கடவுளோட வழியில் செலவு பண்ணுறது. அது என்னன்னா நம்மளோட செல்வத்திலேருந்து சந்தோஷமாக வந்து உறவினர்களுக்கு, அனாதைகள், ஏழைகள், இப்படி அதுக்கப்புறம் வந்து அடிமையை விடுவிக்கிறதுக்கு இதுக்கெலாம் வந்து உங்களோட செல்வத்தை யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க அப்படின்னு நல்லா அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. அப்புறம் உண்மையை பேசுங்க. இதை வந்து ஏற்கனவே நான் இங்கிலீஷில் படித்த அந்த வசனங்கள் தான். எல்லா நேரத்துலேயும் இந்த சூழ்நிலையில் உண்மையாக இருக்கிறது, உண்மையோட பொய்யை வந்து கலந்து சொல்லக்கூடாது அப்படின்னு எல்லாம் நம்மளுக்கு அட்வைஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. அடுத்தது பிஸ்னஸ் பண்ணும்போது இடையை வந்து நியாயமான முறையில் வெயிட் போடுங்க. இது வந்து நம்ம இப்போ கம்ப்யூட்டர் ப்ரோக்ராமராக இருக்கேன், இப்போ இதுக்கு என்ன எடை போடுறதுனாக்கா அது வந்து செய்கிற வேலையில் நல்லா நியாயமான முறையில் அது செய்கிறது. இதான் நான் இது வரைக்கும் நான் சொன்னது. இது இங்கிலீஷில் படித்த வசனம் புரிஞ்சுருக்கோம். அப்புறம் தென் God is saying that in Surah 17 verse 37, be humble, you shall not walk proudly on earth, you cannot bore through the earth, nor can you be as tall as the mountains. And lower and Surah 17 verse 24, and lower for them the wings of humility and kindness, and say, my Lord, have mercy on them, for they have raised me from infancy. In Surah 17 verse 37, God is saying that we cannot be as tall as the mountains, or we cannot bore through the earth, which is not possible for us. We are insignificant creature. Like sometimes we think that we can do everything and we can do things, but this should not be in the egoistic way. God is saying that be humble. That is what God is advising us, and for that only God is giving us the example that you cannot be as tall as the mountains, the creation of God. And then and also God being humble, also praying for our parents as well. That is what Surah 17 verse 24 says, that we should obey our parents, and we have to respect them and give, and we have to respect them, and we have to ask this dua, my Lord, have mercy on them, for they have raised me from infancy. And then Surah 31 verse 18 to 19, you shall not treat the people with arrogance, nor shall you roam the earth proudly. God does not like the arrogant show-offs. Walk humbly and lower your voice. The ugliest voice is the donkey's voice. MashaAllah, God is advising us that we shall not treat the people in arrogance. Like for example, if we have the authority, and we should not treat, or we should not treat people who work under us in an arrogant way. And also, nor shall you roam the earth proudly, like I am so much powerful, I can achieve this, like that. In that way we should not be that arrogant show off. And also God is saying that walk humbly and lower your voice. Like usually as a human, like when we get angry, we tend to raise our voice in a loud voice, and that God is not advising that. Walk humbly and lower your voice. And also God is giving us the example that the ugliest voice is donkey's voice. And this should give, like whenever we get angry and we are trying to raise our voice, we should think of this verse, that God won't like this act. And also in another verse, God is saying that when they get anger, they keep silence. That is one of the good practice God is advising. When we get angry, we tend to utter words which we cannot take back, and which would hurt the other person for their whole life. So when we get angry, better we should not speak or utter any words and keep silent for some time. Then when everything subsidized, then we can remind the other person, even though if they are wrong, we should not raise our voice and shout like that. And then also God advising us exercise patience. we have to practice like we are not as a humans are not being patient as naturally. Like we tend to get excited, we tend to when we get angry we tend to raise our voice and all these things. And God is advising us in Surah 16 verse 126, and if you punish you shall inflict an equal punishment, but if you restore to patience instead of revenge, it would be better for the patient ones. MashaAllah, even though we have the right, if anything wrong happened to us, we have the right to punish the other person, but at the same time God is advising that, but if you restore to patience instead of revenge, it would be better for the patient ones. MashaAllah, if we, even if the other person is doing harm to us, if we forgive him just like that, MashaAllah, this will also help the other person to understand the mistake and correct his ways. And if we start to show our revenge against that person, it will both the side will be in the equal in the fighting mode only. So if we forgive the other, we need to practice to forgive the other person even the person is doing wrong to us. And then Surah 42 verse 37 says, they avoid gross sin and vice, and when angered they forgive. MashaAllah, this is what we discussed in the previous thing, exercise patience title. Then be trustworthy. And God is advising that as a follower of as a believer of God, we have to show these qualities, like good quality. When the other, like initially how Islam spread so fast to the every corner of the world, because during that time, during Prophet Muhammad and soon after his death, during the when these people, when they trade they equably, and they were very humble, and they are kind, they speak kind words, and all these things only inspired other people to come to Islam. We have to be such kind of example, inshallah. The trustworthy, Surah 23 verse 8. When it comes to deposit entrusted to them, as well as any agreement they make, they are trustworthy. Like if anyone is giving us money and out of trust, if any person is giving us the money, we have to show this quality, we are trustworthy, like that. You shall not, Surah 17 verse 34, you shall not touch the orphans' money except for their own good until they reach maturity. You shall fulfill your covenants, for a covenant is a great responsibility. And this is about raising an orphan. When we are raising an orphan, and the orphan is having some wealth, and that wealth, we should not use that wealth for our own purpose, unless and until we are using that orphan's money for his own benefit. Then Surah 8 verse 27, O you who believe, do not betray God and the messenger, and do not betray those who trust you, now that you know. MashaAllah, God is advising that do not betray those who trust you. Out of trust, people do things for us, we should not betray them. MashaAllah. And then treat parents with respect. Surah 17 verse 23. Your Lord has decreed that you shall not worship except Him, and your parents shall be honored, as long as one or both of them alive. You shall never say to them, oof, the slightest gesture of annoyance, nor shall you shout at them. You shall treat them amicably. MashaAllah, like even with parents also, sometimes when they speak against our interest or anything, we show our anger, like we turn our face or not responding to their words. God is saying that the slightest oof itself, God is advising us not to do. We have to respect them. And only thing God in Quran, only thing God gave us the permission to go against our parents' wish is that if they are idol worshipping someone other than God, we can go against it. Only for that only God gave us the permission. You no need to follow your parents' command on that purpose only, on that aspect only. And then guard your modesty. And this is also advised in Quran, that we can say that I will read out this verse, Surah 24 verse 30 to 31. Tell the believing men that you shall subdue their eyes. We should not look at the other woman in the wrong eye. And in bracket it is detailed, and not stare at the woman, and to maintain their chastity. This is purer for them. God is fully cognizant of everything they do. And tell the believing woman to subdue their eyes and maintain their chastity. So it is applicable for both men and women, that we have to maintain our chastity. Our in Tamil we say that that ganyam, and like this we have to maintain that. Do your work through consultation. Surah 42 verse 38 says, they respond to their Lord by observing the contact prayer salat. Their affairs are decided after due consultation among themselves, and from our provisions to them they give to charity. And this like when we in life, when we are planning to decide something, like we have any important decision or anything, we have believers God is advising believers to have consultation among themselves, within their family or friends, among the believers. Have consultation with them, get their opinion, and then decide what is best. And then do not be a spendthrift. God does not love, Surah 17 verse 27, the extravagant are burden of the devils, and the devil is unappreciative of his Lord. And being extravagant, also spending money too much, whatever, it's not that we have earned it, it is God gave it to us. And for like extravagantly if we are spending, that is also God is not advising that such thing. And do not be opinioned. Surah 38 verse 26, this is to David. God is saying that, O David, we have made you a ruler on earth, therefore you shall judge among the people equitably. Do not follow your personal opinion, lest it diverts you from the way of God. Surely those who stray off the way of God incur severe retribution for forgetting the day of reckoning. And when someone we are always opinioned as a human, like we know the other person is like this only, like that. We should not have that kind of opinion, that preset mind we should not have. And God is saying that to the David, God is saying that he made him the ruler, and as being a judge and being the ruler of being the ruler, David should not have this kind of that prefixed opinion on anything. So this kind of things God is not advising, and it is applicable for us as well. And then do not slander. Surah 24 verse 33. Surely those who falsely accused married women who are pious believers have incurred condemnation in this life and in the hereafter. They have incurred a horrendous retribution. And Surah 104 verse 1, Woe to every backbiter, slanderer. This one, do not slander means it is applicable for both men and women as well. That this person is like this, like kind of slander, like backbiting and all these things, God is not advising. And God himself giving the curse, woe to the every backbiter, slanderer. And also the final point I will read, do not prohibit lawful things. And many things that we already seen that verse. And then okay, this title we can read, control anger, Surah 3 verse 134. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Who give to charity during good times as well as the bad times. They are suppressors of anger and pardoners of the people. God loves the charitable. And God is saying that those who give charity during the good times as well as during the bad times. During the bad times, even our income is less also. We should calculate that 2.5%. From that small income itself, we need to calculate the 2.5% and give it for charity. And these people have this quality. God is saying that they are suppressors of anger and pardoners of people. God loves the charitable. And mashallah, this we can think this way as well. If we want to control our anger, we should give the charity in all times, even when the time we receive more income or our income is very less. In both the time, in all times, if we follow this quality, and we will get this quality of controlling our anger, mashallah. And all the many and so many other things as well. Overall, God is advising us in the Quran that all these things we read, if we follow those, we will set a good example for the society. The other people, many people can learn from just by looking at us, being friend with us, mashallah. So inshallah, we fail many a times, and we have to correct each and every time we fall. We have to get up and at all situations we follow these commandments, and may Allah accept our prayers and guide us towards the right path.